The first F-35 stealth aircraft recently arrived at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, following special testing before being sent to the remote northern base. The deployment comes amid new attention paid to encounters between Russian patrol aircraft and US interceptors in the region located in central Alaska, just south of the city of Fairbanks. Eielson Air Force Base received its first two F-35A Lightning II stealth aircraft on Tuesday, the Air Force announced in a news release. The base will house 54 of the stealthy fighters by the end of the year, according to the release. Eielson is also home to the Joint Pacific-Alaska Range Complex, JPARC, a major training area for pilots, and F-22 Raptors, a stealthy fighter built by Lockheed Martin just like the F-35s are stationed at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson 250 miles to the south. Due to the extreme demand placed on the notoriously temperamental aircraft by the harsh climate, the F-35 and its pilots required special preparations for flying and landing in icy conditions before they could be deployed to Alaska. Col. Benjamin Bishop, who commands the 354th Fighter Wing at Eielson, noted that with the F-22 and JPARC readily at hand, as well as specially trained aggressor training squadrons, you have the perfect training field for the F-35 to develop. Although deployment of the F-35s to Eielson has been expected since 2016, their arrival comes amid renewed tension in the region after unusual hubbub has been made about several intercepts of Russian maritime patrol craft on March 14. 2 to 142 maritime patrol aircraft were intercepted by F-22 fighters over international waters in the Chukotka and Beaufort Seas. Then on April 9, two Il-38 maritime patrol aircraft were intercepted by F-22s over international waters in the Bering Sea, which separates Alaska from the Russian Far East. The incidents prompted US defense officials and media to claim Russia was testing US defenses as the country grapples with the COVID-19 pandemic that has killed close to 50,000 Americans. Gen. Billy Mitchell, who played an instrumental role in the development of US air power, once mused that whoever holds Alaska will hold the world, advocating the building of airfields across the region. After World War II, Alaska served as the frontier for US strategic defense against missile and bomber attacks directed toward the US mainland. Bombers and ballistic missiles seeking to deliver nuclear strikes on targets in Canada or the lower 48 US states are most likely to travel over or near the North Pole, whether they fly from Russia, North Korea, or China. As a consequence, the U.S. has stationed some of its most advanced fighter squadrons in the remote Alaskan tundra, as well as powerful radars such as the Long-Range Discrimination Radar and the Ground Mid-Course Defense ballistic missile interceptors it supports. Not even a global pandemic can stop Pacific Air Forces from taking delivery of its first two F-35 strike fighters. The fifth-generation fighters landed at Eielson Air Force, Alaska, on April 21, marking a historic shift for the 354th Fighter Wing, which will now take on a combat mission in addition to its role training U.S. and partner forces through major exercises like Red Flag Alaska. They are on their way and we are ecstatic, 354th Fighter Wing Commander Col. Ben Bishop said shortly after the jets departed Lockheed Martin's Fort Worth, Texas, facility. Moving forward, we'll be charged with projecting air power from the top of the globe. It's significant growth for the 354th Fighter Wing, and also for the Eielson community. The wing planned to live stream the arrival rather than hold a formal arrival ceremony because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but Bishop said the coronavirus is not expected to impact the bed-down schedule. A third F-35 is set to arrive this month, with follow-on aircraft filling out 2 squadrons and expanding Eielsen's fleet from 30 aircraft to 84 by the end of 2021. The base also hosts 9 KC-135 Stratonickers from the Alaska Air National Guard and 21 F-16 Fighting Falcons, one of USAF's 2 organic aggressor squadrons. Once the bid down is complete, with 54 aircraft, the state of Alaska will have the highest concentration of combat-coded 5th-generation aircraft anywhere in the Department of Defense, Bishop said. In addition to Eielsen's F-35s, 2 F-22 squadrons are based at nearby Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, Alaska as far back as 1935. USAF General Billy Mitchell spoke of the strategic importance of Alaska, telling Congress, "Whoever holds Alaska will hold the world." With tanker support, Eielsen is just one fighter sortie from any target in both the Indo-Pac and European theaters, Bishop said. Eielsen's airmen also have operational experience over the Arctic, a region of increasingly important strategic interest as the polar ice cap melts and the region becomes accessible to more nations. This is a contested environment and the weather can be very challenging, Bishop said. "We have a team here at Eielsen that's used to this environment, and bringing the F-35 here is an opportunity to project power from this strategic location." The F-35 was not designed to carry sleeping bags or other equipment needed to protect pilots if they ever need to eject in -40 temperatures, which are common in the Arctic region. Bishop said the wing is working to ensure Arctic survival kits are ready for the winter flying season. By the end of 2021, the number of airmen at Eielsen is expected to nearly double, from about 1,750 in 2019 to 3,250. The wing has 8 qualified F-35 pilots now and more than 90 maintainers, enough to accept delivery of the first aircraft. Growth plans are stymied by the Defense Department's Stop Movement Order, however. We do have the ability to grant waivers as needed, and we are looking at that closely to make sure we are taking the appropriate precautions to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus and still allow us to do our mission-essential tasks, Bishop said. To accommodate all those new airmen, the Air Force is investing $500 million in dozens of building projects at Eielsen, including new hangars, an F-35 flight simulator, munitions storage, and a new school. Of 41 military construction projects associated with the F-35 bed down, 28 are complete. What's unique about Eielsen is that we haven't deactivated anything while preparing to take on all those new fighters, Bishop said. By 2020, Eielsen and nearby Elmendorf Air Force Base together could host 4 squadrons of stealth fighters. Elmendorf's 3rd Wing flies 2 squadrons with around 40 F-22 Raptors and has been on the cutting edge of tactics development for the twin-engine jet. In addition to 4 squadrons together growing to around 100 stealth fighters, Air Force and Air National Guard units in Alaska fly C-17 and C-130 airlifters, E-3 radar planes, HC-130 rescue planes and HH-60 rescue helicopters. A squadron of F-16s at Eielsen acts as an aggressor force, playing the enemy in war games. The base is lucky to have the F-16s. Twice since 2013, the Air Force has mulled shutting down the squadron. But preparations for high-end warfare have increased demand for aggressor services. The Air Force expects private companies to meet most of the demand. Alaska will be one of the few states with a military-run aggressor force. Co-locating aggressors with F-35s at Eielsen could help the F-35 pilots to prepare for major warfare against a high-tech enemy. We are strategically placed here in Alaska to prepare and project 5th-generation stealth fighter capabilities, working with our program partners and allies in the Pacific and to be ready, if called, to deploy around the world, said Lieutenant Col James Christensen, commander of the 356th Fighter Squadron. Adding 2 F-35 squadrons requires a major expansion of Eielson's facilities. Base population could double to around 4,000 personnel.